Good evening. The From the Quarries YouTube channel has been active for well over a year now, and during that time it has received comments and feedback from viewers all over the world. The vast majority has been both complimentary and positive, but there exists a small substratum of viewers who are convinced that there must be something more going on. So it's time to address the elephant in the room. Let's take a look at the Great Masonic Conspiracy.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's presentation, From the Quarries, an archive of Masonic lore.
A lot of people find reading the comments on YouTube videos to be just as interesting, if not more so, than watching the videos themselves. I know I enjoy reading them, and as one of my commenters said just a couple of days ago, I know most of your viewers will go straight to the comments for the real truth. While From the Quarries seeks not to editorialize, but simply to reproduce old and historic Masonic documentation, it is nevertheless very interesting to see what interpretations some commenters place upon the content that is produced. It seems no matter what the topic, some viewer will take the opportunity to jump on a bandwagon and start pushing and promoting some extraordinary conspiracy theories, and it looks as though the topic of Freemasonry draws them out like few others. Some of these comments are short, brief, and to the point, while others are far, far more detailed. Often I'll respond to these comments and try and draw the writer into a reasoned conversation about where they acquired these beliefs, do they really believe them, and what do they think the implications of those beliefs are going to be. Inevitably, however, it's very hard to disavow somebody of something they truly believe in, not that I'd ever intend to, and we part ways, usually amicably, but both holding steadfastly to our own points of view. In this video, I want to look at some of the main themes of these comments and try and provide a generic response that addresses what I see as some of their most signal weaknesses. Theme number 1, Freemasonry is a global conspiracy dedicated to the creation of a new world order and the domination of all life on Earth. This seems to be a theory that comes predominantly from the United States. The number of Freemasons who were founding fathers of the United States, the number of supposed clues on the American currency, the complicated social history of the US, and the predominance of the 33 degrees of the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite all seem to combine to create a perfect storm for conspiracy theorists. This, of course, has a very long history. From the 1830s, anti-Masonry has been a strong force in America, created in the main by the disappearance in 1826 of William Morgan, immediately prior to the publication of his exposé exposing Freemasonry's secrets. This combined with the popularity of Freemasonry in the southern states prior to the American Civil War, and therefore by association, if not in fact, a conflation of Freemasonry with racism. A lot of these theories have of course been comprehensively debunked over the last couple of centuries. Very few of the American founding fathers were in fact Freemasons. There is no pattern in the streets of Washington DC forming a pentacle for satanic rites, and a lot of the quotes attributed to Albert Pike from his Morals and Dogma, which apparently advocate for Luciferianism, which I'll come to later, have been proven to be fabrications. You can add almost endlessly to this list: the Bilderberg Group, the Skull and Bones Society, any number of secret societies which are supposedly Masonic in character, have been accused and continue to be accused of manipulating the world for their own nefarious purposes. To all of this, I can only quote what was said to me by a very learned brother some years ago, to the effect that it's all very well saying that we're supposed to be secretly ruling the world. How come we can't even organise a successful charity raffle? Theme number 2. Freemasonry is an evil organisation populated by evil people. I must admit that this one hurts quite a bit. Those of us who are Freemasons know that our brethren are among the kindest and most supportive people you would ever hope to meet in your daily life. Have there been Freemasons who are not good men? Of course. An organisation as large and with as long a history as Freemasonry will always have attracted and will probably continue to attract people who do not live up to the high ideals of the fraternity. Nevertheless, I think this is true of every field of human endeavour. Every doctor swears the Hippocratic Oath to share knowledge, to help the ill, and not to cause harm, and so on. But that did not stop Dr. Mengele or any number of other doctors from failing to live up to this obligation. Does that mean that we should reject medical science and that medicine itself is evil? Of course not. Masonry is to be commended for the lengths it goes to ensure that its members are of the highest moral calibre and, where possible, to seek to improve that moral character through their participation in our ceremonies. Freemasonry is a moral philosophy of self-improvement, not a refuge for scoundrels and charlatans. Theme number 3. Most Freemasons are unaware, but members of the 33rd and other so-called higher degree orders are part of a satanic blood cult participating in terrifying and blood-curdling rituals. A lot of this still exists because of the hangover from the Leon Taxil hoax of the late 19th century. I've already made a couple of videos about Taxil, so I won't labour the point here. Suffice it to say that the Taxil theory was a hoax, it was identified as a hoax, and Taxil himself said that it was a hoax, and that he had done it all to poke fun at both Freemasonry and the Catholic Church. The fact that these claims are still continue to be raised obviously means his hoax was quite a success. What I do want to point out is what I think is an obvious flaw or a fallacy in this line of reasoning. Freemasonry is a very sociable organisation. I would participate and meet with my fellow brethren 2, 3, 4 times a week over years and decades. These are people who I know, people who I eat meals with, people who I go out socialising with, people who I wash dishes with after every festive board. I know where they live, I know their families, I even babysit their pets. When a senior brother moves through the ranks and finally achieves the rank of, say, 33 degrees, it's a cause for celebration. We all feel good for that particular brother, and we congratulate him heartily on his success. To believe that at that moment, that person who I've known for 20 or even 30 years suddenly changes to become a satanic, devil-worshipping cult member just beggars belief. They don't suddenly acquire vast riches, and they don't act any differently. They've just achieved recognition for a job well done, and have probably acquired some extra responsibilities to help maintain the craft that we all love. I think that a lot of people who aren't Freemasons don't realise that once somebody attains, say, the 33rd degree, they don't suddenly disappear, but they still continue to show up at every meeting, in every degree, sharing the fellowship the same way that they always have. To summarise then, Freemasonry is not a conspiracy, it's not a cult, it's not a religion. It is a system of moral improvement which gives individuals the opportunity to develop and grow their own character. Freemasonry comprises 3 degrees, including the Holy Royal Arch. Any other degrees or orders are either not Masonic or are simply an advancement and a new way of looking at the lessons already learned in the 3 craft degrees. Does Freemasonry make you evil? No. In fact, if you are acting in an evil or inappropriate way, you are not acting Masonically. Freemasonry makes it very clear from the very first lecture you receive that you are to obey the laws and statutes of the country in which you reside. So why become a Freemason? There are a number of reasons. As I mentioned earlier, Freemasonry is a very social organisation. You make good friends for life, people you can rely on, support, and who can support you in times of trouble. Freemasonry is also a very highly moral organisation. It's a moral philosophy, and you can learn from it how to improve and better yourself. Freemasonry offers structure. It's a conservative organisation. Its rites and practices date back centuries and make you part of a long existing historical tradition. But for me, Freemasonry offers the opportunity to reflect on life, the universe, and my place in it. You want to know what it's really like being a Freemason? Watch some of the videos I've placed on this channel and you'll see some of the thoughts that very wise men have had over a very long time in an attempt to clarify and reconcile their place in the great cosmic scheme.
For more Masonic podcasts, videos, music, texts, and artwork, visit fromthequarries.com or subscribe to our YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook accounts by searching From the Quarries.